For summer 2010, half a year after the Lisbon Treaty has been approved, Catherine Ashton and Manuel Barroso have been working hard on a new plan for the European External Action Service. The Parliament has endorsed it, the Council is about to. Is Europe now ready to defend its place in the world?
Well, if Europe is ready to defend its place in the world, it's difficult to say, really, because Catherine Ashton and her plan for the entire term was to build the service. She didn't talk much about what sort of foreign policy she would like to pursue, and she has enormous amounts of powers. Now, what we have seen over the 6 months and upcoming few as well is settling in of this new institutional setup that should be able to provide for some sort of a foreign policy. But what sort of foreign policy, we'll still have to wait to see it.
Do you think this is the type of strong EU foreign policy that was envisaged by those who drew up the Lisbon Treaty?
Look, there's a potential for having a foreign policy with those instruments, but a lot will depend on the relationship between the national foreign ministers, especially of those largest member states, and Catherine Ashton and the External Action Service, this entire machinery that is just being put in place. Because if we see more of letters like the one sent by Kushner with Moratinos and Frattini on the situation in Gaza, this is not productive. Anything that member states do in foreign policy outside of the Union should have Catherine Ashton on board. All initiatives. Is it Moratinos on Cuba? Is it Poles on Russia? Is it Cameron with United States? Catherine Ashton is the person that has to be involved. She doesn't have to be everywhere, but her signature or her political support needs to be behind everything.
There's been some criticism over Catherine Ashton that she was not able to have the weight behind her position. How do you see that?
This was a very difficult 6 months for her, definitely. We probably still need to give her some credit to see how it's going to function in the near future. But for the moment, it's true, her mission was impossible. She had to be in Ukraine and Haiti, and all staffers she had were only her cabinet. She didn't have the service yet in place. Of course, she was the High Representative and she was the Vice President of the Commission already for the past 6 months, so she could have tried to get a policy. But it didn't work so far. Hopefully, let's give her some few more months and then judge her on her performance. But for the moment, we still do not have a EU foreign policy.
If you were one of her advisors on her team, what would you advise her looking forward?
What I would advise the team working on European foreign policy, I would advise them to try to build a separate foreign policy bottom-up. That member states would jump into. Do not try to seek a lowest common denominator as it was the case in the past. Just try to focus on generating an innovative foreign policy that would be attractive enough for member states to jump on that team and join forces.
Piotr, thanks very much.